The Classic Plus community results. Oh yeah, the Classic Plus community results did come in. You're right.
Listen, I just thought it was a survey. I woke up this morning, I saw everybody talking about Classic Plus survey. This is a lot more than that. Like, what the heck?
Haven't we done this before?
This is a whole video. Oh.
Me not that kind of orc.
You sent the results here? Ooh. Let's watch the video first, and then I'll go through the results. All right. The Classic Plus project. I've never seen...
Hey guys, I'm Jordy, and our little project
I've never seen a game community so desperate.
Amount of buzz in the community.
So desperate.
Really
Super sick.
Ooh, uncovering Dalaran. Project Classic Plus, baby.
And as of this video's recording, we have 35,000 introduction surveys taken, with over 200,000 total surveys covering every aspect of the game completed. The surveys are still up, and that number is steadily increasing, but I do want to get into what we are seeing, what the community thinks.
I think we all disagree here.
Same.
And what exactly Classic Plus is to us all. And while I can't tell you Blizzard has officially noticed and said that they're watching,
really excited to announce that I guess we'll save that for later.
Just based off of my experience communicating with them, I know that they're paying attention.
They are completely different for the most part than modern players. You know, can we as World of Warcraft do a bit of experimentation? Because we hear what they want. What do they really want? And in some cases, they created it themselves, like hardcore. That's what we're aiming for. We're in a very exploratory space with Classic, and we are listening.
Now, the next video in this series will be showcasing all the incredible pitches and ideas that the community has created, as well as an absolutely exhaustive amount of ideas that only and I have. But this little video is just the numbers, and oh man, are they interesting. Now,
here we go.
I want to preface everything I'm about to talk about with this. I'm not saying nor recommending Blizzard make Classic Plus by committee here. While I do think a polling system is a great and much needed feature for future releases, doing it this way, with all the surveys being as long and exhaustive as they are, it's just not a great way to decide on everything. But I do think it's very important to see how the community feels about a certain direction and hopefully course correct on anything that they might already be doing to avoid running the Titanic into an iceberg.
Why are they turning? Is it hard over? It is, yes, sir, hard over. It's got a hit!
Now, speaking of icebergs, let's talk the most surefire ways to screw up Classic Plus. According to the community, out of over 35,000 individuals who answered, almost unanimously, everybody agrees that flying mounts would ruin Classic Plus.
That's
good stuff, guys.
Debated topic.
I agree with you. Now, everybody also agrees that the leveling pace of the original game is just right, with the majority agreeing to keep it the way it is. Only 1.4% of respondents said that they'd rather skip leveling and buy a boost. So, Blizzard, if you're listening, no boost schemes, no leveling increase, just keep it the way it was. Mad Season, this one's for you. Now, moving on to something I honestly found surprising, a majority of players believe that transmog is bad, with 51.6% of players agreeing that it should not be in the game. I'm honestly surprised by this as well. I hear a lot of different opinions about transmog, so this one was a pleasant surprise. Now that we've seen what exactly Classic Plus shouldn't change, let's talk about what the community thinks should change. While it's a bit mixed in how it should work, over 70% of respondents agree that raid size should reduce from 40 somehow, with about half of those wanting the Season of Discovery version of raids being tuned to 20, but allowing you to bring more. Or a retail WoW-like version of flex raiding, where the challenge changes as you gain or lose raid members. Next.
Okay, hold on. Reduce raid or required raid size to 20 and allow me to bring more than 20. Most people want that, huh? Okay. So flex. I actually hate that. I'd rather keep the raids at 20. I don't like when you allow like more than 20 and it's like you can have 23, you can have 24, you can have 25. Because I feel like then it's like there's an optimal raid comp and you're supposed to bring 23. It's the perfect amount. It's the optimal amount. Is it that big of a deal? Maybe it's not. Maybe if you're average Joe, it's like if one person leaves the raid, you can keep going. It's not a big deal. So I guess there's pros and cons. But I kind of like everything being 20 man. That's how it is. You have 19. Okay, well, the boss doesn't tone down.
Dungeon Finder. 67% of people want Dungeon Finder, but only in that it helps to group you, not teleport you to the dungeon. Now, what confuses me here, though, is that 74% of people want summoning stones as well. So,
okay. 74% of people want summoning stones. That's not very classic of you. But I also agree. I think, especially having played lately, hopefully most people who took this survey actually play the game. This result makes me think they do actually play the game. Because the people who actually play that aren't just speaking about their nostalgia of back in the day, they understand that summoning in 2026, World of Warcraft, the reality of what happens. It's not going to be like when you were a kid again. Shut the fuck up. It's just bots. That's what it will be. That's all they're going to be. It's bots. There's summons everywhere. Whatever. That's the reality. So yeah, just make summoning stones.
So I guess you're all okay with making 2 people travel there to summon the other 3, which de facto is the same as Dungeon Finder, kind of. This was a weird result. I think some of you are passenger princesses and are okay with it. Now, most of you like the idea of heroic dungeons, or at least some version of it, depending on how it's implemented.
Yeah,
also, a majority.
Some of these questions were worded so fucking retarded. They really were. Like, because it's multiple choice, and the choices they gave you were all bad.
Personally, I'm not a huge fan of AoE looting, but it's not a huge deal. Fine. Now,
AoE looting is
the
fine.
Class survey, over 70% of respondents think Retribution Paladin needs major revamping.
God, there's so many rep paladins out there. Ugh.
The best class, the paladin.
While Balanced Druid and Protection Paladin come up just behind.
Let me see. So, yeah, this looks about right. Your hybrids should be all at the top. Demo Warlock should be reworked. SL is cringe as fuck. Assassination Rogue. Arms Warrior. Affliction Lock. Interesting. Sub Rogue. Resto Druid. Disc Priest. Okay.
Just needs a little
lot of rep
encouragement
paladin, that's for
to
sure.
really break free of its vanilla shackles. The biggest one on this list, in my opinion, 55% of respondents would prefer if GDKP was not in Classic Plus. If you look at the demographic data of people who answered,
it shouldn't
that
be
they
in
were
initially.
hardcore raiders, that number drops to 49.5%. But separately, for people that only labeled themselves as hardcore raiders and nothing else, that number swaps to 47.1% wanting GDKP.
Interesting. So you're hardcore, like, all answers for GDKP, so no, 55, yes, 24. Interesting. So the sweatier the player got, the more they were for GDKPs. Like, GDKP shouldn't be in Classic Plus initially. But there is, again, kind of a reality that you have to confront, and you can hate people that buy gold and take it out on GDKPs, but that's not banning GDKPs doesn't stop people from buying gold. It just doesn't. What it does a couple things. It gives your hardcore raiders a way to get bot gold without having to buy gold themselves. And 2, it kills pugs. If you don't have GDKPs, what you get instead are basically people making pugs, and they reserve everything. Everything's reserved. Everything that's good is reserved. This isn't a streamer thing. This is just how it works. And that's what pugs are, basically people getting carried. That's what pugs are. And that's also what GDKPs are. But in GDKP, they'll carry you, but they get paid. But if you take away GDKPs, why would they carry you? That's why they reserve everything. And that's why you get, this is reserved, that GDKP, yeah, less pugs happen by banning GDKPs. But initially, with Classic Plus being hype and everything kind of being new, GDKPs, keep them out, no problem. If it really became a problem, though, and it's like the pugs are awful or whatever, I'd be for bringing it back. But initially, have it banned. I just find it a very interesting stat because I think it's the hardcore raiders and the people that really sweat and play the game a lot that actually understand how things work. Interesting stat.
With 41% saying they prefer not to have it. I'm not going to editorialize this, but it's fascinating. The last highlight here,
how it works for them,
is a slam dunk.
Yeah, it's fair too. 95%
yeah, true.
Of the again, you're right. They get that gold out of GDKPs. The hardcore raiders, the sweats, you're right. They get gold out of it.
Answered. So something like 32,000 or so people want to see dual spec implemented.
Everyone wants dual spec.
I think this is a safe addition for Classic Plus, and the community seems to agree. That's the no changes, the changes, and now the most debated topics that we can't get true clarity on. First up, how this server rollout should occur. Now, this one was all over the place, with no option getting more than 30% of the vote. 27% want 1
megas. Oh yeah, this was a stupid question. It just 1 mega PvP server with faction balance enforced and 1 mega PvE server with no faction balance enforcement. I'd like it if everything was on one big mega server with a fuck ton of layers, personally. That I agree with everyone. It's the best because then you can queue with everyone. Sure, there's a ton of layers, but you're still on the same server. Oh, but then we think about latency. Blizzard needs to join Mr. Beast challenges, and they need to win an island, and they got to put it in the middle of the world, in between everything. Everyone has 100 MS. No more, no less, 100 across the board. Okay? It's playable. Triple digit, barely.
Mega PvP server and 1.
But yeah, 1 mega NA server, 1 mega EU server. If you're in Australia, you can kick rocks. You got plenty of those to kick around.
1 mega PvE server. 24% want a condensed server list like in SOD, with further consolidation over time. And then down from there in terms of options. It's super interesting seeing how split everybody is on this. On the question of Classic Plus having new classes, 43% do not want to see any new classes, with 34% and 12% wanting to see new classes in.
Wow. 35% of you actually trust the 2 devs to cook up a new class and for it to be fun, engaging, and not make you want to rip your hair out. Really? That's baffling.
Some way, whether that be completely new classes or stuff that we've seen in retail already. Now added up, that's 46% for new classes and 43% against. The community is pretty split on this one. And in terms of the server resetting every couple years, and I admit this question could have been written a bit better, the community is also pretty split. Some of you are down for fresh every so often, some never want to see it, and most are just not sure, wanting to hold judgment.
Okay, so this is my biggest gripe. I don't want Classic, and I feel like the Classic community will do this to themselves. They will shove WoW in this direction We're already here, where we're basically playing a fucking loot extraction game, and we're expecting the servers to wipe every year. That's ridiculous. This is why I hate transmog, but I think transmog can like add things to do. It's just one of the tens of thousands of things they should fucking add. They got to double down on secondary professions. Everyone should have engineering. There's got to be some type of prestige, but it has to be fun to actually do it. I think someone recommended the survey. You can increase how quickly you fly on like griffins and wyverns. So if Crossroads to Org is 1 minute, when you prestige, it might become 50 seconds, and you can like up it and whatever. It may be small, minor things that are like not gameplay changing immensely, but you know, fun to grind out and progress your character. I just don't want the servers to reset after a year. And then, all right, let's do it again. I know it's not RuneScape, and eventually I think with just naturally how Classic WoW progresses, it has to reset. I mean, I just don't know how you make it. Maybe it doesn't have to reset, but fuck, like, it's not RuneScape. But holy fuck, we gotta meet somewhere in the middle here where you don't expect to reset every fucking year. To the point where if you're halfway through, like, let's say you're 6 months into TBC, I bet there's people that are like, I'm not gonna play TBC. I already missed the beginning. There's no point. Like, dude, because, yeah, it's gonna be, what, a year before we're through every single phase? So stretching that out is ideal. I don't know. I just don't want Classic Plus to just be a 1 year thing and cool, server's done, beat it, done, next. Reset him, hurry up. I want to kill the first boss again. We've already, like, we outscaled the first boss by like 7 raids already. Teddy, stop it. So, either way, I don't want the servers to be reset, but yeah, it depends on a lot of factors.
Depending on how it's done. So this is just our initial findings. We've been building this data browser for everybody to use, which right now, you two
Whoops.
A bit better. The community is also pretty split. Some of you are down for fresh every so often. Now, you too can go check out. Do you want to see what the auction house gamers think about connecting all the auction houses? Boom. Go check.
All right, hold on. Let me go to see the results of myself. Volp's linked it to me. What faction do you usually play? I switch between both for the Alliance. Whichever is BIS for raid/arena this expansion. Only 8% of you put whatever's BIS. That's a lie. That is a fucking lie. And you know it. The only excuse I could think is maybe it snowballs. So like some sweaty fuck picks Alliance, right? And then you log in and you're like, huh, it looks like everyone's playing Alliance. Guess I'm playing that this time around. Right? But no. Hold on. Whatever my streamer is playing should be an option. Yeah, I mean, that is a thing. But like, when Classic came out, I played Horde. So many people picked Alliance because human does more damage because of sword skill. No, everyone here is a fucking liar. Either that or they're not honest with themselves. That's how I feel about this right here. First question already pissed me off. What's next? What class do you consider your main? Warrior is at the top. Really? Really? Druid is number 4? Really? Man, Warrior and Paladin. That's crazy that Paladin is so high up there. But it's same with Shaman, but it's only on one faction in Classic. I guess these aren't just Classic players. These are WoW players at this point, right? Interesting. How old are you? Every day if I can... Wait. What? Why is it skipping that? Why is it skipping how old you are? There we go. 31 to 36. I really hate that cutoff. I am 31 years old. Almost 32. But like, why'd you have to make the cutoff there? That's crazy. You make me fucking... Oh, wait, no, I'm dumb. I read that wrong. But still, yeah, I'm at the low end of that. 66 to 70. 70 plus. 0 people puts... That's surprising. No one put that they're 70 plus just to fuck with them. Not even a single individual. Prefer not to say. All right. How often... Why is it? How often do you play WoW each week? Every day if I can. And more. Wow. These guys are losers. What is your experience with the various iterations of Vanilla Classic? Check all that apply. Okay. This guy, I've never played WoW. 0.1%. Okay, so 76% in 2019 Classic Relaunch, Classic Anniversary, SOD. Really? 68% of y'all did... Oh, Season of Discovery. I was thinking of Season of Mastery. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Private server, 54 or 55% did private servers. That's surprising. I mean, these are like your Giga WoW sweats. These guys are fucking nerds. Just the process of getting onto a private server is like a couple hurdles you do have to jump over. And that would filter out, I would think, a lot more. But in terms of this, again, they're already going onto the survey to fill it out. So it makes sense, I guess. 2004. What role do you usually play? DPS. Wow. Only 8% of the people play a tank, huh? For a dungeon, you need 1 tank per 5 players. So this is already pretty fucking skewed. It'd be great if 20% of the players played tank. But you wonder why. It's fucking tough. All right. What region do you play from? 51% are EU. Classic WoW's player base is, I believe this wholeheartedly, is bigger because of the private server scene. Has kept up the like older classic WoW size in general. Y'all, all your EU servers are over there, or all private servers are in EU, and it's like I play there with 300 MS. It's miserable. But it's yeah. Okay, which of the following labels describes you? Casual Raider, 66%. Okay. Auction House Gamer, Transmog Hunter, Completionist, Hardcore Raider, PvP player. Wow, 39% of the people here said they're PvPers. Leveler. What is a leveler? I mean, everyone levels, right? Like, everyone does that. So why is this even a... I would describe myself as a leveler. Like, what? All right. Alts? I guess, yeah. How likely are you to play Classic Plus? Who the fuck would put, I don't plan to play it? What? And you're here. Would you pay a box fee for Classic Plus? If so, how much? Depends on what is shown / promised. Yeah, of course. Unreal Engine S graphics. Oh, this one's interesting. So number 1 through 10. Fuck. Unreal Engine S graphics, lighting, polygon count, etc. Was 1 less? I feel like 10 would be like you heavily want it, right? And then 1 is like you heavily don't want it. I think I was like a 3. Okay, so most people don't want it. Yeah, all right. I was like, you know, maybe you could update some graphics here and there, but like WoW's got that timeless feel. Unreal Engine doesn't. Modern WoW character models. Hate it. I will quit the game. Modern WoW character animations. Hate them. I will quit the game. Maybe a 3. Like, you can polish the already existing classic WoW animations, but I don't want to see like the whirlwind from Fury Warriors in retail with spam spinning. Nothing fucking ridiculous like that. Modern WoW spell effects. again, you can make, like, when I cast Wrath, that green ball that flies, make it a little more sparky, sure, but I shouldn't see that yellow beam from retail. What's it called? Like, I think it's called Wrath, but it's like yellow now, and it's ridiculous. No. Like, again, like a 3. Barely spice it up. If anything, leave it alone. Work on something else. And it looks like most people kind of agree. Some people are on the 10. In fact, it's second place. Third place. A lot of people are in the 5 angle. They probably feel the same as me. Some people just fuck off. Modern WoW UI. Wow. Most people want a modern WoW UI. Okay. What is modern? I guess you look at retail WoW and they like have those bars. Like, is edit mode, is this modern? Classic UI is dog shit. I mean, yeah, but like, don't we have edit mode here now, right? Is this it? Because yeah, it's here and this is great. It's a little buggy wuggy, but I would go with like a 7 or an 8. Because I'm pretty sure retail UI, it even changes like your bars here. So you don't have these bars on the left and right like these over here. Instead, you have like just the stacking bars. Bang, 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 and that's it. How would you like Blizzard to handle the server rollout? 1 mega PvP server with faction balance and force. And I already looked at that. How would you feel if Classic Plus had an element of seasonal servers resetting every couple years? Yeah, it depends on a lot of factors. Personally, I don't want the servers to just be... I don't want to be playing a glorified loot extractor. Right? I don't want to be going in with the mindset of, I got to make sure I do all of this before the servers are going to reset. That's already a huge turnoff. That would turn you off halfway through, even, if you're playing that way. I'd rather longevity, but... How would you feel about layers in Classic Plus? Layers are fine. I mean, I get it. Most people agree. Should the raid size be reduced from 40? We already read that. Should Dungeon Fighter? Read that. Read that. Heroic Dungeons? Read that. Should there be rated PVE in Classic Plus? Mythic Plus, Mage Tower, Prestige levels, level 60 rating leaderboards? Ooh, this is a split. I mean, most people say yes. A lot of people say no. Classic players hate a challenge. Yeah, I guess they do. But like, the only way you make this game or any game fun is you have to have a rating system. Something, a goal you're working towards, more than just, cool, we killed the last boss. Guess I'm done. Like, that's it. The next step is you would speedrun versus other guilds, or you're just clearing to help your friends get gear, I guess, or you to get gear to go do what? Battlegrounds? Unrated? You got to have rating systems. Should there be rated PvP in Classic Plus? Damn. 60% say yes. Fuck you. Thank God. Oh, fuck. Thank God. Oh, I'm so happy people agree. Oh, I feel like sometimes I'd have to explain like such stupid things. Should AoE looting be implemented? Sure, yeah, okay. I'm glad people agree with that. Why not? Whatever. What features of world buffs would you want to see in Classic Plus? Check all that apply. World buffs don't belong in raids. No world buffs ever. Alternative sources of world buffs. Purchasable consumes like in SOD. Chrono boon. A lot of people just want the chrono boon. More varied world buffs. Non-dispellable world buffs. Weaker world buffs. No opinion. No changes. Okay. The only thing that everyone here can agree upon is something should be changed here. Except for 5% of the people. I mean, world buffs suck. They're not that fun to try and go for. I can elaborate, but I don't think anyone cares. How would you feel if Classic Plus trimmed the capabilities of add-ons and weak auras? I prefer my add-ons and weak auras, leave them alone. I'd be happy to see them go. Just let me keep my out of combat quality of life add-ons. Don't really care. I gotta see Midnight. Have you ever tried learning the game from someone who's never played WoW? Viki. My eyes were open big time when I got to level with her. She's an MMO player, but she never played WoW. But I just gotta see how Midnight is. When they start trimming all the weak auras and whatever. See how that goes. Should mount level requirements be lowered? No. Should flying mounts? No. Guild banks? Yes. People want achievements in Classic Plus, 72%. I'm glad people are realizing you gotta have these, like, they're not really cosmetic, but you need a rating system for PvP. You're trying to get 2400. You need to have, even in PvE, a rating system for how fast your Strathhome clears are. Like, what's your fastest Strathhome clear? You need these things. It adds something to work for and to do well. How do you feel about adding transmog? Transmog bad, transmog good. I don't care, no opinion. Should separated collections be implemented? Yes. Okay. Good, that adds a lot of longevity. Let's go. Should allow GDKPs? No. Should the level cap be increased? Depends how long after launch, would have to see. I agree with that answer. Should Classic Plus have new zones? Yes, please. Okay. Where in Azeroth? Anywhere in Azeroth. Only the 2 main continents. All right. Quest items shouldn't take up bag space. I think they should take up bag space. Maybe not quest items like, hey, put out these fires and it gives you a fire extinguisher and then you turn the quest in, but like the fire extinguisher stays in your bags and you're like, you don't know if you're still using this. But you should have like, you should have things that you can earn like a bag within a bag. So you know how RuneScape has the fishing barrel? You should have things like the fishing barrel where you should have a potion belt. And this potion belt goes in your traveler's backpack, and it's like you open it up, a bag within a bag. You have a bunch of potions. It only takes potions. Even like Warlock should have like a soul gem bag. Like Warlocks have to give up an entire bag slot. That's ridiculous. They should lose 1 bag space, a bag within a bag, and you can fit 32 soul gems in there. I should have a Noggin Fogger elixir. And these shouldn't be things that you're just given. These are things you kind of have to go out of your way and honestly get kind of lucky. Like it's a low drop chance. Maybe not the soul bag for Warlocks, but the Noggin Fogger elixir. Maybe those mobs over here that you have to grind in Tenaris have a really low drop chance to give you a Noggin Fogger bag or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe like every time you chug a Noggin Fogger elixir, you have a really small chance of getting a Noggin Fogger bag. And a million different things. A fishing belt. You could get a fucking cook bag where all your cooked food you can take to raid. It's all in there. My opinion. Should leveling be sped up? No. Should there be more class-specific quests? 58% say yes. Epic quest lines, 85% say yes, like Rock Dalar. Which of the following best describes how you'd like to see changes in Classic Plus to older raids? Okay, do all of the above, plus add new bosses and areas with them. I assume this is at the bottom, so let me read the all of the above. Tune them as needed for any change in player power, but keep the spirit of the original raid. Add more complex / difficult mechanics similar to Season of Mastery / Season of Discovery. Okay, so basically, whatever. Should there be new raids? Sure. Should Classic Plus have new playable races? New playable races that already exist in Azeroth? Oh, God. New classes? No. Should new class or race / class combos be added? Yes, but only stuff within the lore that makes sense. Undead paladins? Okay, most people agree that Horde should have paladins and the Alliance should have shamans. Human hunter. Yeah. Should classes be reworked? Some new spells that modernize ability rotations, Ret Paladin, just don't completely change them. Yeah. Of the following, what is the most important change needed for raid buffs in Classic Plus? Raid buff should be single cast raid wide. Okay. Sure. Should talent specs be reworked? Somewhat, but with a light touch. Yeah. Should a fourth new talent spec be added for classes? Oh. Most people say yes, but limit it to hybrid classes with roles that didn't get fleshed out. Oh. So they don't want feral druids anymore. You need to be a guardian druid. I don't like that. I do not like that. Like shaman tank, you should be enhancement. That's cool. I don't think it's cool. I think hybrid should be... I think classic ferals should be able to off-tank really well because they can still do really good damage. Plus, they have dual spec, right? That would fuck with PvP a lot. Like, enhancement should be able to tank, and they should add in the appropriate things to make enhancement viable as a tank. But you shouldn't give them the tank spec. No, you just put talent points that if you're a DPS enhancement shaman, you ignore those talent points. I think they already have some. Like, I think they have, like, increased chance to block with shield. And enhancement shamans just don't take that. Things like that. I really don't like that some people hit yes. Maybe because they don't really understand what they're saying yes to, or I guess I'm in the minority. It won't ruin the game. Should every spec be competitive in both PvE and PvP? Ooh. Not in most cases, but vanilla hybrid classes don't perform well in PvE outside of healing. Those classes could use some love. Okay. I think the way I felt about this question is I think I went with 3-ish. Yes, every spec should be viable in all scenarios, but not as strongly as that. Like, mages are the kings of AoE. Warlocks are going to be, like, right behind mages with AoE. Feral druids are just single target Andes. But, like, in PvP, I'd rather it be kind of close, I guess. And, like, on a boss fight in raid, it should be kind of close, right? I don't know. So I went with 3, but just not as strongly as that's worded. Everyone agrees on dual spec. Should new professions be added? Yes. Okay, people care about professions. All right. Give druid thrash? No. I kind of like when, you know, you have mechanics where there's a ton of AoE. Onyxia, for example. You know how the whelps come in? No one gives a fuck. The whelps die so easily. But imagine in Classic Plus, these whelps are actually like a threat, and you need to have 2 mages that are in charge of AoEing the left and the right side and controlling these whelps. That gives the mage a job. Only a mage can do it. No other class can do it well. Maybe a hunter with Frost Trap. But again, just raid DPS-wise. DPSing the boss. They should be close.